Hello and welcome back to the Xpert 11 Road to Glory series, where in the last episode
we secured our survival in Division 1 for another season with a 2-1 win over Highlanders Athletic. And in this episode, we're playing the last game of the season away at struggling Cairo Nightboats. We are a much stronger side, so we should be capable of beating them. However, they can be a particularly tricky opponent, and they are just 1 point from safety. They need to get a result against us to stand any chance of staying up.
Cairo Nightboats have sold Rab Baxter and Hugh McKellery, so they have a much weaker squad as a result. However, they still have their full strength defence in full force here, so they could be quite difficult to break down. Knights have a full strength team available to face them, but we may not necessarily put our strongest team out, given the fact that, well, we don't really have much to play for, besides the small matter of the fact that we're still in contention for a playoff spot. However, I'm considering that will quite be unlikely, so we'll be putting a few players out who need a bit more DV before we really consider anything else. Cairo Nightboats line up in a 5-4-1 formation with Eric Perry in goal. A back four of Ali Makanacci, Ralph McNaughton, Arnie McConchich, Laird McDavid and Kieran Comby. In midfield, Raymond Dougal, Jake McAnally, Aaron Ramsey, Gary Elder and Archie Hamill as the lone striker. On the bench, Hamish McQuaid, Sean McKillen, Eric McKillen, Alex McAvery and Alistair Thompson. Knights line up with Ant Connolly in goal, a back four Pim van der Kruis, Ibrahim Qamara, Aquiles Santamaria and Devin Reilly. Midfielder Pierre Of Hesslink, Lennart Tingstrom, Ray Tataw Eta, Alvito Roma and Raymond Hargreaves. Up front, Ian May. On the bench, Ryan Mulligan, Bapit Kanchanapoom, Wei Jun Er, Azret Zairi and Celso Mota. Now, I've mainly also picked Ian May not just for DV, but also I'm expecting Cairo Nightboats to mark Celso Mota. So by starting Ian May, we could avoid him being marked and our attacking power being restricted. Anyway, let's go on to the match itself. Let's go live to Halbeef Road for the final match of the season. Cairo Nightboats are in the black and white striped shirts, playing from left to right with Ali Makanacci as their captain. Knights are in the red and yellow strips, playing from right to left. The referee is Hugh Kango, skill 2, harshness 2. The other match in the division, we see Shark United in second place, the favourites for that playoff spot, take on Steppenwolf Suckers. FK Splash Cernica won the relegation favourites against another playoff pushing side in Kyoto's Killers, and Highlanders Athletic are against the All-Stars. If they get defeated and other results don't go their way, they'll be relegated, but they are just heads above water at the moment as we get the game underway. So, as you can see, the odds are not particularly in our favour for getting that playoff spot, but hopefully something miraculous will happen and we can manage to get a win. But then again, here's a card as Devin Reilly has been yellow carded for dangerous play. And there's been an injury for Cairo Nightboats inside the 15th minute as Raymond Dougal is injured. Well, their best midfielder and only really strong midfielder out there in their team now is now seeing them go off and lose some significant strength in the process. But they do have a very strong defence which they are playing off quite a bit here. As FK Splash Cernica have taken the lead against Kyoto's Killers and the All-Stars have taken the lead against Highlanders Athletic. So all of a sudden Highlanders Athletic are going to be in the relegation zone as the first half comes to a close. In that first half there weren't really any chances to speak of, but Cairo Nightboats were weakened significantly. In the other match of the division, Shark United are going to take the playoff spots despite drawing 0-0 against Steppenwolf Suckers because Kyoto's Killers are losing to FK Splash Cernica, and we are drawing with Cairo Nightboats, which is actually going to put us up to third place. As things stand, Highlanders Athletic are dramatically going to get relegated. Cairo Nightboats are bringing on Alistair Thompson, so they've got a bit extra firepower up front now. As Pierre Of Hesslink has been yellow carded for elbowing. 51 minutes play, and there's a injury for Cairo Nightboats. Ali Makanacci has been slightly injured. 53 minutes play. 0-0 between Cairo Nightboats and Knights of UFC. No goals in the other games to report as of yet. We're in the final minutes of the entire season so far, as Celso Mota is going to come on for Ian May. Hopefully he can get the impact and try and get a goal to get a win, as the All-Stars are 2-0 up against Highlanders Athletic. As Celso Mota has scored a goal just straight after coming on. 2 minutes played and Celso Mota's powerful long-range shot has been disallowed for a doubtful offside. That's very, very disappointing there. But Svash Sernica still winning against Kyoto's Killers. That means they're going to dramatically keep themselves up despite the fact that they sold some key players and have weakened themselves as a result. Eric McKillen has gone on for Ralph McNaughton. 79 minutes played. It is currently 0-0 between Kyra Nightboats and Knights of Sidonia FC. But in the 80th minute, Pierre Of Hesslink has a free kick straight on goal, and he scores! Pierre Of Hesslink has finally broken the deadlock and put the game in Knights of Sidonia's favour. And we are now just 1 point behind Shark United in the standings. That's a huge surprise. Pierre Of Hesslink take on goal, and it's easy for the goalkeeper. Highlanders Athletic have got one back for themselves, while Kyoto's Killers equalise against FK Svash Sernica, but Pierre Of Hesslink free kick straight on goal! Not even close. As we come towards the end of the game, Kyra Nightboats have got a chance. Aaron Ramsey with powerful shot on goal. Has no problems with Ant Connolly, the slightly injured Ant Connolly, but he's doing enough to hang himself in there. He's got another chance to save. Can he spare the win? As for Thompson, and has missed the goal by hair's breadth. So, this game is going to come to a close, and it looks like Knights of Sidonia are going to win their final league game of the season 1-0. A 1-0 win which puts us up to third place in the final standings. A very, very solid result in finishing position in our first ever season in Division 1. However, it could have been a lot better. Things really started to go downhill after the midway point. When we lost to Svash Sernica and drew with Steppenwolf Suckers, that was the nail in the coffin. In the end, we were just 1 point away from that playoff place. Very, very disappointing in the end, but we will be a stronger side next season, so hopefully we can actually get into a promotion space and get that long-awaited top flight promotion that we've been aiming towards for this entire project. The question of whether we can do it or not remains to be seen, but after a long and arduous season, we have to do it all over again in Division 1 yet again. Thankfully though, you should have a good change report in progress. But the big news in the division is obviously that FK Svash Sernica have managed to stay up. This is particularly big. Kieran Comby was the man of the match for Kyra Nightboats, while Pim van der Kruis was the man of the match for Knights of Sidonia UFC. Our tactics weren't quite as solid as the last time we were facing Kyra Nightboats. However, we just about got the job done, even if it was only by a single goal, and we very nearly failed to beat this team. Their 5-man defence really walled us out in the end, even though they did lose one of their main midfielders. But thankfully, we got the win. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to be able to get the playoff spots, but that's the season for you. Anyway, without further ado, I've waffled on enough by now. Let's see the final team of the week of the season. Team of the week is Stefan Geist of the All-Stars in goal. A back four, Pim van der Kruis, Knights of Sidonia FC. Art Muse, Steppenwolf Suckers, Kieran Comby, Kyra Nightboats, Hubert Costian, Shark United. In midfield, Wilbur Brooms, the All-Stars, Alvaro Escamento, Shark United, Basil Helmsford, the All-Stars, and Mark Wheatman, Shark United. Up front, Peben Bergen, Highlanders Athletic, and Fania Siriaku, Steppenwolf Suckers. Despite thinking that our tactics were not particularly good enough, we did manage to secure the Manager of the Round award, so that's a very, very nice addition to the coffers for the end of the season. Our final DV totals are 3 players on 18 DV, 2 on 17 DV, 7 on 16 DV, 1 on 15 DV, and 1 on 14 DV. Absolutely fantastic DV for a team that is in its prime, not really filled with youngsters, instead filled with players who are playing at the peak of their potential. So without further ado, let's see the final standings for the season. Stars are crowned division winners after an impressive 30 points season, go through the season with 9 wins, 3 draws and only 2 defeats. Shark United have claimed the playoff spot with 6 wins, 5 draws and 3 defeats, making them the second best side in the division with 23 points. We have finished in third place in the end with 6 wins, 4 draws and 4 defeats, which sees us just miss out by a single point on 22 points. Kyoto's Killers dropped to 4th place on the final day of the season. After 5 wins, 5 draws and 4 defeats, leaves them on 20 points for the season. FK Svash Sernica have secured a dramatic survival after a 1-1 draw against Kyoto's Killers, which leaves them a point above the relegation zone at the expense of Highlanders Athletic, who stood no chance against the All-Stars and lost 3-1 on the final day of the season to be relegated on 15 points. Kyra Nightboats finished a further point behind Highlanders Athletic and will pay the price for having too weak a squad to get relegated. Meanwhile, Steppenwolf Suckers run in Division 1. They've been in this division ever since they got relegated from the Ultimate League top flight. That has come to an end. They finished in last place. After 3 wins, 3 draws and 8 defeats left them on 12 points for the season. It was not good enough, so they have finished bottom of the pile. So here are the post-season bonuses. We've got 2,500 econ for finishing 3rd in the league, so that win at the end was a really big help in able to do that. We also managed to get manager of the round twice this season, so 100,000 econ comes our way into the account to add to the 3rd place finish econ. Sadly, Wei Jun Er has retired from the club. He joined us back in season 35 and he played 96 games for the club. In the end, he scored 18 goals instead of another 21, as well as making 5 X11 appearances, a valuable member in our ascent up the Ultimate League. And from next season onwards, Ryan Mulligan, our reserve keeper, will be retiring. He's been with us for a bit of time now as the backup goalkeeper for Ant Connolly, but we may need to find a new backup in the near future, perhaps next season even. So without further ado, it's time to look at our change report for next season. Overall, this is a very, very good change report. As you can see, there's been entire squad skill increase throughout the entire team aside from Ryan Mulligan, who's dropped to a 31-2 goalkeeper. Ant Connolly is now 27-15 goalkeeper, which is extremely impressive. Pim van der Kruis goes up to 17 skill, Ibrahim Qamara now 14 skill, Devin Reilly 12, Alvito Roma, Raymond Hargreaves both 15 skill, Pierre Of Hesslink and Ray Tataw Eta are both on 14 skill, Azrat Zari is up to 10 skill. Only players who have not changed their skill level are Aquiles Santamaria and Celso Mota, who both remain 15-bar players, which is still pretty solid. The big disappointment, unfortunately, though, there are no double jumps in this change report to speak of. Not even Bapit Kanchanapoom, who finished the season on 18 DV, managed to get a double jump. So, unfortunately, he will have to wait to be sold, but he'll probably stay in the squad for next season, and hopefully we can double jump him next season and get a really good sale out of it. Anyway, that's it for this episode. In the next episode, well, this is the last episode of the season 40, but in the next episode, we'll be looking at season 41 as that begins. We will be taking a look at our league opponents for next season. See you guys next time.